YouTube family, what is going on? I want to apologize for not making a video in a while. I have had quite a lot of stuff going on. Christmas Eve, my one of our dogs, the first dog I ever bought for myself, kind of took a turn for the worst, and we had to put her down a few days later. I actually injured myself pretty badly at work October 31st, and I go in tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. To get a C7 disc replacement, and then about 6 weeks to 8 weeks later, I will go in and get my labrum on my shoulder completely repaired as well, because I hurt myself. Both of those things were at work, so I do apologize. It's been hard for me to get on here and make videos. I've just been having a lot of stuff going on, and just really trying to let myself heal and recover, and just kind of lacking motivation, if I'm being honest. So I do apologize, but I wanted to make this video because I saw a very, very interesting video featuring David Schwartz, the CTO over at Ripple, right? Who some people have said potentially could be Satoshi, but you know, who knows, right? He did have a patent on this type of technology since a long time ago. But let's get into it. I'm going to take you guys over to my X page where I had typed out the video, transcribed it basically so that I could show everyone exactly what he was saying. The reason this video is so significant is because what he's talking about the importance of RLUSD on the XRP ledger, right? He talks about how XRP is going to be used as a bridge currency for every transaction on the XRPL. XRP is the bridge currency. So even with RLUSD, which was launched on the XRPL and the EVM, and it has an OX address, so it's an ERC20 token and all of that other stuff, since it's hooked into, basically coded into the XRPL, right? If you were doing RLUSD to some other asset on the ledger, which he talks about being real world tokenization. He talks about foreign exchange being on there, so forex trading being on there. He talks about trade settlement. So when he's talking about those three things, right, and he's talking about real world asset tokenization and the foreign exchange markets and trade settlements, right, those three things together comprise a ton of money in the world. A lot of money, and we're talking futures, swaps. I need a lot of the derivatives, bonds. Like when he said trade settlement, that market is huge. We're talking about a notional value, and this is what I've talked about in my other videos, a notional value of over $1 quadrillion. Okay, I'm going to show you some infographics for that as well, but it's not, the derivatives market is not actually $1.4 quadrillion like they say the notional value of it is. That notional value is because there's like 11 trillion or whatever it is in the market, but they use that 11 trillion as the equivalent of $1.4 quadrillion or $1 quadrillion because of the leverage, because of all of that stuff that they're doing, futures contracts and all of that, and options and everything. So that still counts, though, as trade settlement, because if people are closing out, if you closed out a trade where you use $200 and you're using 50x or 100x leverage or whatever it is you're using, and then let's say that money turns into, $100,000, right? When they close that out, that's settling the trade, but it's settling the trade with $100,000 now instead of that lower number, right? It also works on the opposite side. If someone's leverage trading with cross leverage, then their entire account is technically exposed to being liquidated. And that means that if they were to take a fat loss and lose their whole account, and they had $100,000 in their account, even though they took a $200 trade, because of the cross margin, they would lose that $100,000, which once again would be a trade settlement, right? So, and this doesn't just apply to crypto. I mean, they're specifically targeting with RLUSD the traditional finance markets, which is real world assets, right? And when he's talking about real world asset tokenization, what that means is taking gold, silver, real estate, stocks, bonds, ETFs, whatever they feel like they want to turn into a digital token, they will be able to. And then they'll have that digital token here. XRP will be in the middle, and they'll have their other endpoint here, right? So you'll have two endpoints with XRP as the bridge asset in the middle. And so you would go, whatever they're trading, like let's say they were doing gold on one end and silver on the other, but they're tokenized and they're digitalized, right? And they're on the XRPL. It'd go digital gold, XRP to digital silver. All of the value passing through. But in this case, they would be on-ramping and off-ramping with RLUSD. They would be using RLUSD in place of fiat currency, right? Because they can't get cash onto the XRPL. But because of RLUSD, that is basically cash. I mean, it is, backed by cash and treasury bonds and all of that. They just put out an audit report recently. Much more transparent than Tether has ever been, but that's also why Tether is being delisted in some areas. And, RLUSD is going to take over a massive amount of that volume, which means XRP is going to take over a massive amount of that volume. So imagine all the volume, not all of it, but, a good portion of the volume from USDT and USDC going to RLUSD, because RLUSD has licenses that neither of those companies do. Not only that, but it's going to be settled on the XRPL, which is going to be faster and cheaper and more efficient than any of the other blockchains that they would be able to settle these stablecoins on. So it's pretty incredible to see them talking about that. The biggest thing is, and this applies to, people who are holding foreign currency and anyone who's trading Forex, that being settled on the XRPL is also huge, because that brings so much money from the traditional finance markets into the digital space, right? And specifically into the XRP ledger. All right. So the banks and everything are going to be so interconnected here. And so let's dive into this video. I'll read it to you guys here, and then we'll go from there. So I hope you guys can see it, but it says right here, I'll highlight all this so hopefully it's a little easier. I put, you will want to repost this. Everyone has been wanting actual proof. RLUSD and XRP will be used to settle Forex. Well, David Schwartz literally says RLUSD will be able to foster the growth of new on-chain applications like foreign exchange markets. Okay, his words. This is huge. He then confirms XRP will be used as the underlying bridge asset for all transactions on the DEX. RLUSD is the Trojan horse for XRP. Okay. So let's go into what the actual video was. The video was why Ripple USD is good for the XRPL. All right. And then he goes into, while this is his actual speaking, what he said in the video that I transcribed. Okay. While XRP is the native currency on the ledger, it was built to support any type of asset, crypto or fiat. Okay. Bringing more credible assets on the DEX like RLUSD drives direct and indirect benefits. For example, it drives more trading, which natively uses XRP as a bridge asset through auto bridging, and generally benefits users, developers, and apps. And a unique feature of the XRPL DEX is the auto bridging use of XRP as the native currency to facilitate trades on any two assets on the ledger. It automatically considers XRP as an intermediary to find the most efficient trading route across assets. RLUSD and XRP will complement each other because of the inherent differences of the cryptocurrencies. For Ripple's proprietary payments, XRP will be used as a bridge currency, given the XRPL's speed, cost, and scalability, we will see RLUSD being able to foster the growth of new on-chain applications like real-world asset tokenization, foreign exchange markets, and trade settlement. Okay, so let's read that one again. Given the speed, the XRPL's speed, cost, and scalability, we see RLUSD being able to foster the growth of new on-chain applications like real-world asset tokenization, foreign exchange markets, and trade settlement. We're entering a growing market expected to see significant expansion, especially with stablecoins. Builders will certainly take advantage of new opportunities presented by this ecosystem. Okay, it was a little like 2-minute video. So RLUSD was issued on the XRPL and the EVM via a hook. From what David is saying, any RLUSD use, which will always be routed through the DEX, will have XRP used as the intermediary to settle the transaction. This means when banks get the green light to use RLUSD as a digital fiat, the multiple trillions of dollars they send will go directly through the XRPL and in turn, XRP. When he is talking about RLUSD fostering the growth of real-world asset tokenization, that's RWA, foreign exchange and trade settlement, he is listing the main sources that make up a massive $1 quadrillion market, comprised of all derivative trade settlements, money transfers, stocks, bonds, etc. All of the money. XRP equals new standard, okay? So let's go into a infographic here of all of the world's money and markets in one visualization. And I will actually pull myself off of the screen here so that you guys are able to see what it says and what it is here. Okay, so we got silver, and then at the top too, you can see this here, visualcapitalist.com. All I did was type in, infographic of $1 quadrillion market. So we have silver, and then here's cryptocurrency, right? You can see how old this is because it says other 5,400 coins. There's like 22 million cryptocurrencies or something like that right now. So this is obviously an old infographic, right? So cryptocurrency, yeah, here, look, now at 244 billion. So this is much bigger, right? It is much bigger than this. It is actually probably closer to this military spending here. But so we'll go through all of these coins and banknotes, Fed balance sheet, billionaires, blah, blah, blah. You can see it's increasing here. And then you have all of the Fortune 500 companies, stock markets, money supply, global debt, and then we have the global real estate market, which is $280.6 trillion in total value. And then global wealth. Global wealth is, according to Credit Suisse, all global wealth tallies to $360.6 trillion. Okay. And then here's the derivatives, right? Here's the gross market value, $11.6 trillion. And so remember what I said, this is old. So this is probably, could be higher, could be lower, but this is typically where it sits at from all the time that I've watched it. And then here's the notional value. Okay, it says low end estimate is $558.5 trillion. Okay, the high end estimate of the notional value is $1 quadrillion. Okay, and so then it talks about here, why is the range on the low and high end estimates so large? The low end estimate for the notional value of derivatives comes from the Bank of International Settlements, that's what BIS is, and covers only over the counter, OTC, products. Commodity futures, interest rate swaps, options, etc., that are easily measured and quantified. The high-end number is unofficial but is cited by multiple sources and includes non-OTC derivatives. A non-OTC derivative may be a bespoke product used to hedge a specific risk that does not meet standardized clearing requirements. Okay, so you can see how much money this is, right? You can see how much money is actually in it, and then the fake money. This is all fake money here. This is all leveraged. This is all contracts and stuff, right? So like if you buy, $1 of a contract, and like, let's say you get 1,000 contracts for that dollar or whatever it is, right? So it's not this is technically just all of these contracts and how leveraged they are. But like I said, that still counts for swaps and settlements, because that money has to be coming in and out, and people are making a profit, right? Clearly, if we're talking about a quadrillion-dollar market, obviously people have been making profits. So if we were to go back through, I mean, just from global real estate and global wealth, that right there is like $650 trillion. You add into global debt, it's another 253. I mean, we're looking at 900 trillion now. You look at all the money that's in the world, right? You're talking another 150 trillion or whatever it is, like with the stocks and everything else, right? So we're talking about like, it's just, there's so much money that is going to come to the XRPL and through RLUSD, because this is all the money that they're talking about: trade, settlements, real world asset tokenization. That's what this is: global wealth. Lots of real world assets that are involved in that. I mean, another real world asset, global real estate. So tokenizing that, can you imagine tokenizing $280.6 trillion and then all of this being pumped through crypto? And it will be. That's the thing. It's like we just got confirmation that that's what Ripple is actively going for, right? So all of this, the global debt, the stock markets, gold, all of this stuff, they want to tokenize everything and get it on to the blockchain. Okay. So, I mean, if you needed some more info on the derivatives market, the derivatives market is a collection of financial contracts that allow investors and businesses to buy and sell assets at a predetermined price in the future. Derivatives are used to manage risk, speculate, and discover fair market prices. Okay. Then I asked, why does the derivatives market have a notional value of over $1 quadrillion? And then, yeah, so this goes into it here. It says the derivatives market has a notional value exceeding $1 quadrillion, primarily because of the inherent leverage involved in derivative contracts, meaning that the underlying asset value represented by a contract is much larger than the actual cost of the contract itself, leading to a significantly inflated notional value compared to the market value. This is further amplified by the vast array of derivative instruments available across various asset classes like equities, commodities, and currencies. So when David Schwartz here is talking about, tokenizing all of these things and really moving forward with getting global real estate and getting all the stocks and bonds and all of the swaps and all of the trades and everything that is done all of the time, the money is staggering that's going to be flowing into here. Okay. It's, you can't even fathom what utility is actually going to bring, because even just tokenizing 1% of the real estate market would bring us like 8 trillion dollars onto the XRPL. That immediately would make it more than Bitcoin market cap wise, right? That's through utility. That is why people do not understand exactly the implications of what Ripple is doing, because utility is something we have never had in traditional markets when it comes to stocks or bonds or any of this other stuff, right? When we're talking about speculative price with XRP, we're talking about how much utility is it going to get? Is it going to get just a little utility and be $10? Is it going to get a little more and be $20? Is it going to capture 10% of that quadrillion dollar market of the world money, right? And be $100? Is it going to capture 20% and be, $200? Is it going to be way more than that because the circulating supply is actually much less than the calculations I use, which is their total supply? And I use those calculations on purpose to lowball the numbers, because even those lowball numbers using their full supply, fully diluted market supply, right? And assuming that all of the money is being pushed through that 100 billion XRP, which if, let's say the retail holds 20 or 30% of all of that, and then we have currently, I think it's 38, right around 38 billion XRP that are in escrow. So we're already talking about XRP having whatever it is, 40% of their supply is only going to be able to be used. So all of these lowball numbers I've thrown out before, and I call them lowball, but I guess $100 in XRP isn't a lowball number, but those are based off of a full supply that we will never have. We will never get. So that really means that those numbers are much, much higher. There is nothing like this that has ever happened before. It won't be able to be predicted in charts. You won't be able to figure out how utility is going to affect it, looking through technical analysis glasses or anything like that. You're not going to be able to trade XRP for a while because if you're shorting XRP and one of these banks, goes online and they send through whatever it is, hundreds of millions of dollars, like that price on XRP is skyrocketing. It's skyrocketing because that's the way that their mechanism is set up. They have exchanges on board. They have other market makers. They incentivize those market makers to help facilitate these trades, and they'll be routed through these exchanges and some of these market makers, these trades will. So with the XRPL, what happens is it always finds the most efficient route. It'll find the cheapest route, the fastest route, and that's what it will do to make it to its destination. Unlike our current financial system with SWIFT, where you got to send it to the bank you're sending it to, and it can be routed through all sorts of other places. And even if it is not the cheapest option, but that's the only route that you have, like you don't have a choice, you're doing that. But imagine this, all of these countries and everything, right, are using XRPL, so much trade is going through it and all of that. All these people are plugged into RippleNet and their ODL program and everything. And they're able to all do trade with each other. You're opening up third world countries and second world countries, being able to do business with first world countries on a level they've never been able to before. Money that they'll be able to receive from first world countries that they didn't qualify for before. They couldn't do it because they were too small of a bank, right? Like they were worth $5 million and they couldn't go to JP Morgan because they're worth trillions, because JP Morgan was too pricey for them or wouldn't mess with them because they're too small. And, we're in Venezuela or whatever. But now with RippleNet, as long as you're on RippleNet, you're doing business with anyone else on RippleNet. You're opening up a floodgate of liquidity around the world and value that is being unlocked and unleashed that we have never seen before. Utility will trump everything. And people don't understand that. They don't truly get how XRP works. And that is why it has gotten so much hate over the years, and people have fudded it so much and done all of this other stuff. But you know what? If you would have ignored all of those people and you'd been buying XRP this entire time, you would be up fat. And you're about to be up way more fat once all of these regulations go through, once XRP is part of a crypto reserve that the United States has, right? When that happens, when it goes into the crypto reserve, which it will, Brad Garlinghouse the other day confirmed he is in direct talks with Trump to add XRP as part of the crypto reserve. It won't be just Bitcoin. Bitcoin's too volatile. I mean, think of the giant moves that it does. Why would they just have one asset like that? They'll comprise it with a bunch of other cryptos as well, to kind of help balance it and keep it stable, right? What's coming with them adding XRP to a global reserve, sorry, not a global reserve, but here in the United States, what comes next is the global reserve. For the IMF to add an asset to the special drawing rights, the SDR, it first has to be a reserve asset and a major country. It basically has to prove its worth. And they have to be backing it like, yeah, this is an asset that's stable, that we have a lot of, that we believe in, right? If they added it to the global reserve and think about all the XRP that's in escrow that they kept, right, that they're keeping there, they could gift that. they could gift that to the United States as a sign of goodwill. It would cost them nothing. It would only benefit them because it would skyrocket the price. I mean, all of a sudden you'd see use cases, you'd see all this implementation from these banks and everything. They would start using it because it was part of the reserve. It would be in the reserve and the special drawing rights for the IMF right next to the USD and all of the other currencies that are there. And the IMF specifically would love that because the IMF, what they do with those special drawing rights is when a country is hurting or they're going through, you know, with COVID, they used it a lot. They sent out a lot of those funds, and they helped people with the special drawing rights and countries that needed it. And the biggest thing they talked about during that was liquidity. How they had to do this because they didn't have the liquidity, or they had to do this because they couldn't get the liquidity from such and such country fast enough. So it was easier for the IMF to step in and do it, right? And the IMF, by the way, if you look them up, they're comprised of almost every country in the world. So we're seeing history unfold right in front of our eyes. We are seeing something like, I was talking to my mom and grandma about it. My kids are going to grow up only knowing this new system. My kids will grow up never understanding what it was like before, because all they'll have is instant settlement and cheap fees, and, you know, they're not going to understand that it used to take days to send money. They're not going to understand that it was faster to walk cash to someone that lived right next door to you than it was to send them a wire transfer, because all of that stuff is going to be instantaneous. For banks, it's going to be better for them to do it this way, sending out, I guess you could say, microtransactions or small transactions all day or maybe every hour or whatever it is, instead of just waiting and settling all at the end of the day type of thing. It could be settled in real time, meaning that if I transferred you money through a wire transfer, which would then be routed through the XRPL, meaning it would go through XRP, it'd be settled instantly. What banks would not want that? Not only that, but they're saving 60% a transaction with XRP. So the choice is so obvious of what's coming and what these banks will do, and it is all over the walls. The writing is all over the walls of what's happening. His words today, or from the other day, confirm that they are targeting a $1 quadrillion market. They are going after all of the money, all of it. They want a piece. So with groundbreaking technology, with faster than what we're currently using, with cheaper transactions, more reliable transactions, a better messaging system, a better sending system, a better settlement system, a more liquid system overall, a more inclusive system for all countries in the world, for all people in the world. Why would they not switch over to that? Why would that not have at least 10% to 20% of the entire global market? And that's low. I mean, we're talking about groundbreaking technology. I mean, really, really life-changing stuff for anyone involved in this. And it's quite literally a reformation of the entire financial market and everything that we have known since 1976 when SWIFT was created. It's changing all of that. Why would that not take over more than 10 or 20% of the market, right? They'll start at 10 or 20%. That's what they're going to try to get first. And then slowly, as more banks, all it takes is one bank to come out and say, yep, we're using it. It's fantastic. We're having, these great results. These are the transaction fees, yada, yada, yada. Our money doesn't get lost like it does on SWIFT. We're able to communicate easier with each other. One bank does it, all of a sudden all the other banks do it. What happens if that big bank is, Chase or Wells Fargo or Citibank or Bank of America, I read the other day, 83 patents on like different blockchain technology, and quite a few of those patents have Ripple specifically mentioned in them, XRP specifically mentioned in them as a settlement mechanism. Who owns Bank of America? Vanguard, right? Who owns Vanguard? Warren Buffett. So some of the smartest people in the world are already positioning themselves for what's coming. Do what those people do and not what they say. If you had been doing what they were doing since they told you crypto was a scam, you would be very rich right now, just like they are. But you're not, because everyone listens to them, right? We listen to what they say because these are people we think we're supposed to trust and they're going to lead us in the right direction. They will not. So as much as people want to hate on XRP for being a banker's coin and all of this other stuff, they're going to end up using it every single day, and they're going to be so salty about it every single day, because every transaction that they're doing is going to be on the blockchain in real time and running through the XRPL. And they're not going to have a choice. All it takes is one of those big banks, one big corporation, to implement a top-down approach, and all of a sudden their 100 or 1,000 subsidiaries underneath them are all running on RippleNet, right? One bank kicks off everything. And that's when the world changes. That's when everything changes. That's when the new standard is created, because you can't continue using Swift how it is now, even though they've made changes that will be implemented, right? But you can't use this old system now and then be using XRP and being like, yeah, I'm just going to keep doing both. Like, even though this one's way cheaper and faster and everything, and this one kind of, I can lose my money on it, and it's just a messaging system and all of that. It's old and antiquated. It's not going away, but it will be hooked into the XRPL as well. And the amount of money, like I said, the amount of money that's coming, that they're targeting, is all of the money. Know what you hold. Know the value of XRP and what you hold. Okay? Know that it does take time. It has taken time for all of this to start coming to fruition, for all of it to start coming out, and for people to start recognizing the power of what it can do. And I am a firm believer that this was all pre-planned, that they had been planning this, that it's all in the works. I don't know if they knew which way the tide was going to blow with the election. I think that's why they donated to both of them. It was a smart business move. Some people got mad, but hey, if you're looking out for your employees and your business and the longevity of your business, sometimes playing both sides of the field isn't a bad thing, and it is a typical business move. So they made the smart business move so that whatever came in, whatever happened, they wouldn't be completely ostracized from them, right? Fortunately for us, we have a president who is going to implement crypto regulations and is talking directly with Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO from Ripple, has had multiple meetings with Stuart Alderodi, I think, their lawyer, and he's met with tons of their counsel and all sorts of other stuff. So Ripple is quite literally in the White House. This applies to all the other American cryptocurrencies as well, because it's not just XRP. All of the American cryptocurrencies will benefit. Anyways, guys, I appreciate all of you. I hope this helped. Just keep in mind, we're so close to finally being validated on everything that, we were told we didn't know what we were talking about and we were crazy and all of that stuff. We're so close. I mean, it already has become validated in many ways, but we're very close to it being publicly acknowledged, right? And in a very massive way, like implementation type of way. And that's when the real fun starts. That's when the real action and prices start. That's when technical analysis and the charts won't matter, because if you all of a sudden start pushing trillions of dollars through the XRPL, that trillions of dollars of volume goes through XRP. That will reflect in the price. That will have more volume than Bitcoin. That will have more volume than any other cryptocurrency. What happens then, right? What happens when XRP has 3, 4 times, 5 times the amount of volume every day than Bitcoin? I fully believe once that happens, we will see XRP reclaim its number 2 spot. Not only the number 2 spot, but eventually, I believe the number 1 spot as well. I do believe XRP will overtake Bitcoin because of utility. Okay. Market cap is not applicable. Anyone saying market cap matters does not understand what XRP does and what it means. They are going to push trillions of dollars through XRP. That is going to happen. There's nothing that market cap is going to tell you about what that's going to do to the price. It does not matter, and it is not applicable to cryptocurrency. Because if they were to push $10 trillion through XRP today, the market cap would be way higher than the entire cryptocurrency market, than anything, you know, in most traditional markets as well. That's why market cap doesn't matter. They will have to make completely new indicators and ways to track value and all of this, right? And to evaluate cryptocurrencies based off of what they actually bring utility-wise to the real world. I love you guys. Thank you. Say some prayers for me for my surgery tomorrow, please. I am extremely nervous about it. I'm not so nervous about the pain or anything else. I'm more nervous about irrational fears, you know, like going under and not waking up to see my kids again or something like that. And that terrifies me. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry I haven't posted a video in a while. The good news is I'm going to be out of work for quite some time, recovering and physical therapy and all of that. So I promise starting next week, as long as my voice isn't too messed up because they go through the front of my throat for the surgery, I will try to do a market update on Monday, maybe do some charting. And then if I see any good other exciting news, I'll also try to do some videos on that. Okay. If you hung out all the way until the end, thank you so much. I appreciate the 40 minutes of your time, basically, that you spent listening to me ramble on. If you were my family, this would be a short conversation about crypto with me. They usually have to tell me to be quiet or just walk away because I can go on for hours and hours and hours, and it drives them nuts. But thank you all. I appreciate you all. I hope your crypto bags stay full. I wish you good fortune in life. And God bless you all.